بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحابته أجمعين أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Alhamdulillah, we are doing these episodes inshallah ta'ala, these lectures inshallah ta'ala, reminding one another about the importance of marriage inshallah ta'ala, how and what is the secret to happy marriage, and how does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want us to marry, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what is the teaching of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam with regard to marriage inshallah ta'ala. And we have spoken of the benefits of marriage inshallah ta'ala, marriage life. What do you benefit of getting involved into marriage life inshallah ta'ala? What are the blessings that you get inshallah ta'ala? How to select a wife, and how to select a husband, who should be marrying you inshallah ta'ala. And also the previous lecture number 8 and 9, we've spoken about marriage proposal, how to propose Islamically, what is accepted, can I speak to the woman, can I see her, am I allowed, and everything else. We've spoken about it inshallah ta'ala. These step by step will help inshallah strengthen these marriages inshallah ta'ala, because the divorce rate are significant lately, and it is very important for our young men inshallah and women, before they get into this contract of marriage, they understand what is marriage, what is allowed, what is not allowed, what is my right, what is the right of my wife, what is the right of those children that I'm going to be blessed with inshallah. Now, having proposed, it has been accepted, and now is al-aqd, to perform the marriage contract inshallah ta'ala, aqdun nikah. We will see how is it done inshallah ta'ala, what are the pillars of marriage inshallah ta'ala, of aqdun nikah, and what are you allowed now once it has been done, what is halal and what is not allowed. We'll come to explain inshallah ta'ala. First and foremost, before you go ahead with the marriage proposal, once you have done your homework, the wife has done it, the wife to be has done it, and you have done yours and everything, the most important thing is al-istikharatu wal-istishara. Very, very important that you pray istikhara, which is 2 rak'ah. We'll come to explain how to do it inshallah ta'ala. Wal-istishara, seek advice, seek opinions of others about someone you want to marry or who wants to marry you. Ask about him, because do not wait and find out later. If I knew, I would not have agreed. If you've asked, you would have known. If you've asked about him, you found out that the husband who married you a week later, he was drinking alcohol, or he was committing adultery, or he's chewing, or he's doing something. If only you've asked his neighbors, his friends, his family members, would have told you. But you've rushed things, and that will lead to contribute into failure in that marriage inshallah ta'ala. We need to avoid and do it according to the sunnah, the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ. And the Prophet ﷺ said, "Ma khaba man istakhara wala nadima man istashara." Truly, he is not at loss. He will not be at loss, he who asks the advice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by asking the dua of istikhara, and he will never regret. Someone who has seek other people's opinion on a particular thing that he wants to do. Therefore, istikhara on its own will not get you anywhere. It is not the right way. And istishara, seeking advice only, an opinion of others about the wife or the husband, it is not enough. Therefore, istikhara and istishara. First of all, ask about that particular person, seek opinions and everything. You are convinced this is the right person. You've got a very positive reports about that particular person. Therefore now, pray your istikhara. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help. Ya Allah, I want to go ahead with this. And istikhara is dua. And it is very, very important. Al-istikharatu du'a'un ba'da al-istishara. It comes after seeking the opinions of those people who will guide you whether to go ahead or not. So al-istikharatu shar'iyyah, istikhara that is allowed in Islam. The Prophet ﷺ, the Sahaba, Sayyidina Jabir ibn Abdullah radiyallahu anhu arda, he said, كان صلى الله عليه وسلم, the Prophet ﷺ يعلمنا الاستخارة. He used to teach us istikhara كما يعلمنا السورة من القرآن. Just the way he used to teach us surah in the Quran, he used to teach us to practice istikhara. And the Prophet ﷺ said, إذا هم أحدكم بالأمر, if one of you has decided or he wants to make a decision on something, he wants to, the Prophet ﷺ said, فَلْيَرْكَعْ رَكَعَتَيْنِ, he should pray 2 rak'ah min غَيْرِ الْفَرِيضَةِ, not fard, just 2 rak'ah, which are not compulsory. One fard, the 5 times salat, it shouldn't be part of the 5 times salat. Only 2 rak'ah, stand and pray 2 rak'ah, and then read the dua of the Prophet ﷺ, Allahumma inni astakhiruka bi'ilmika astaqdiruka biqudratik, a long dua inshallah ta'ala. It is extremely important. Therefore, very important, istikhara, it is not to ask a sheikh to pray for you. The Prophet ﷺ said, if you want to make a decision into doing something and you want to seek the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, pray. It means you pray 2 rak'ah. So the wife to be, the husband, the father can pray and make this dua inshallah ta'ala. No one can pray it for you. They can make dua for you. May Allah bless you and all these and others. But if you've made an intention to do something, pray 2 rak'ah, the Prophet ﷺ said. And also very, very important things to be aware. It is not what you see in your dreams is not connected to the istikhara. Some people say, oh, I've seen blood and I've seen this and I've seen that I was sinking and I've seen this. All has nothing to do with istikhara. Istikhara has nothing to do with what you see, how you feel. This istikhara is dua. Therefore, you leave it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have seeked the advice of others. And then now you leave it in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If it is good and there is a blessing in that particular thing that you want to do or marry that particular person, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it easy. If it is not, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you something else inshallah ta'ala. So there are some form of istikhara that some people go to particular sheikhs, and this has nothing to do with the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ. They say, I will open the Quran for you and we will look into it and see if the verses of the Quran are talking about the hellfire, it means you shouldn't marry this particular man. And we will open it. If it is about Jannah, blessings, good things, it means this will be blessed wedding. You should go ahead with it. These has nothing to do with the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ. Therefore, what you see in your dreams, how you feel, and everything others has nothing to do with istikhara. Istikhara is dua. You are seeking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide you and leave it in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Aqdun nikah. Now marriage, now you're ready into going into marriage contract. It is a contract that lasts your lifetime. You should not go with an intention with particular time. That marriage becomes mut'ah only for certain period of time, and it becomes haram. It is forbidden in Islam. For example, somebody to go to a European country or to America or something, and they want citizenship, to put an intention that I have targeted this woman, I am going to marry her, and then spend 5 years, whatever the requirements is, to be with her so that I can get a passport. Once I get the citizenship, I will divorce her and continue with my life. So you're using her as a bridge to get to where you want. This is the nikah, the ulama said, the woman does not know. Because if there is a contract between you and the woman that I will marry you for 1 year, during my studies, I'm doing my masters for 1 year and then I'll divorce you, I'll give you this money, and you agree and this lady agrees, that is mut'ah, is haram. But if you have given hope to the woman that you're going to marry her, that you will be with her, you want to spend the rest of your life with her, and you've shown her all these dreams, and she agrees, while you put in your heart an intention, once I get where I want, when I get the citizenship and all that, therefore the ulama, the scholars said that marriage is correct, because the woman doesn't know, is not involved in this, in what he wants to do. وَلَكِنَّهُ آثِمٌ. He will get sins and he will be held accountable in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Islam does not agree to use one another to get to where you want and dump somebody. That you will get sins. عقد النكاح أو عقد الزواج أركان الزواج, the pillars of marriage. The pillars of marriage in Islam, according to the teachings of Imam Shafi'i, said there are 5. First of all, as-sighatu, what you say. You go as the man who wants to marry somebody's daughter, say to him, I want to marry your daughter with the dowry mahar of this much amount, and for him to say, yes, I allowed you to marry my daughter for that particular amount, that marriage has happened. That's it. As long as there are 2 witnesses and the parents, the father, and then you say it, you request to marry her, and he says that I have given you my daughter to marry. That's it. Second pillar of marriage is ash-shahidan. They must be present during the marriage contract. 2 witnesses. 2 witnesses should be present. 1, that marriage is invalid. Therefore, there must be 2. Al-waliyu, the guardian, the father, or who can be the guardian, inshallah, we will come and explain. Was zawju, a husband, is a pillar of marriage. Was zawjatu, a wife, a woman, so a man and a woman is a pillar of marriage. Inshallah, we'll look into the first pillar. The first pillar is as-sighatu, to say it. The man who wants to marry to say it, and the guardian, the father, to agree to it. For example, أن تقول لوالد زوجتك زوجني ابنتك, marry me your daughter على مهر كذا, and I'll give dowry of this much amount. فيقول زوجتك, and for the father to say, I marry you to my daughter. Therefore, that's it. At that time, as soon as you've said it, that contract holds. That marriage is valid marriage. Everything becomes halal. Whatever marriage allows, now they are husband and wife. It is not a condition. A sheikh should be there. It should be done in front of everybody in the masjid. It was not a condition. As long as the guardian, the father who is responsible for the daughter is there, the husband is there, and the 2 witnesses are there, that's it. It can be done. Therefore, the Prophet ﷺ said 3 things. Whether you say it, or you just pretend you are joking, they are all valid. For example, the Prophet ﷺ, hadith reported by Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu ardah, he said, ثلاث جدهن جد وهزلهن جد. النكاح. For example, you marry your daughter to somebody and then suddenly you tell them, no, I was joking. No, that joke is not allowed. That wedding or that marriage contract is valid, is considered valid. وَالطَّلَاقُ, for you to go and divorce your wife. I said, no, I was just joking. There is no jokes in these three things. The Prophet ﷺ said, whether you are telling the truth or whether you are joking, they are all valid. وَالرَّجْعَةُ, to say to your wife after you've given divorce, raja'tu, I come back. I'm back as your husband. So no, I was just joking. No, there's no joking. If you said it, that's it, it stands. Ar-ruknu thani, the second pillar that it is very important, otherwise the marriage is not valid. Ash-shahidani, two witnesses. Who can be witness? First and foremost, the Prophet ﷺ said, La nikaha illa biwaliyin wa shahidai adlin. The nikah, the marriage contract, it is not valid until a wali, a guardian, the father should be there, or so whoever can be wali. We'll come to explain later, inshallah ta'ala. Wa shahidai adlin, two just witnesses, inshallah, they have to be present. And also, it is very important and it is a condition for the witnesses to be males, to be hur, not slaves, to be Muslims. A non-Muslim cannot be a witness of a Muslim. Aqilan, to be with sane. If somebody is crazy, cannot be a witness because they will not know what is happening. Balighan, they should have reached the age of puberty. If they are young children, cannot be witness. Muttasifan bil adalati, has got characteristics of being just. Therefore, al-bulughu, very important, a condition of a witness should have reached the age of puberty, considered as somebody who is an adult in Islam. A child witness is not valid. The Prophet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَاسْتَشْهِدُوا شَهِدَيْنِ مِنْ رِجَالِكُمْ, seek two witnesses, male witnesses to witness. And also al-aqlu, they should have saying, if someone is crazy, we will not know what is happening. Al-hurriyatu, if someone is a slave, is owned by somebody, which does not exist now, is not allowed. Al-islamu, an yakuna shahidu musliman, the witness should be a Muslim. فَلَا تُقْبَلُ شَهَادَةَ الْكَافِرِ, shahadatul kafiri, the witness of a non-Muslim to a Muslim, it is not valid, it will not be allowed. Therefore, لا يجوز زواج بغير شهود, marriage without witness, it is invalid according to the madhab of Imam Shafi'i. Inshallah ta'ala, it is extremely important that we take this into consideration. And we said 5 important pillars. The first pillar is as-sigha, to say that I want to marry your daughter, and the father to say I agreed to marry my daughter to you, or the guardian. And secondly, the conditions of the witnesses. 2 of them, you cannot just pick any outside, Muslim, non-Muslim. There are conditions, and if we follow and do our weddings according to the teachings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the guidance of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, inshallah is a recipe for success. But if we just do how we want, no istikhara, no seeking advice on how that particular person that I want to spend the rest of my life with is, do they have deen or do not have deen? It doesn't matter how you do it, boyfriend, girlfriend, love before marriage, do haram things and everything, hold hands, go out, do whatever you want and everything. The more haram, the more unguided and everything, it is the recipe for failure, the recipe for divorce. That is why a lot of divorces are taking place. Inshallah, our young men and women should know this, inshallah ta'ala, because marriage is an institution and it should be done according to the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ and the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the witnesses should be what the Sharia agrees to. Who should be a witness? We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless our weddings, inshallah ta'ala, to bless our young men, inshallah ta'ala, to bless us all, inshallah. Very important. And lesson number 11, the one to follow this, inshallah, will continue with the pillars of marriage. Aqdun nikah, arkanul aqd. Inshallah, we'll start with pillar number 3 and continue, inshallah ta'ala, and do the sunnahs of aqdun nikah. What are the sunnahs? What are the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ when we want to perform this marriage contract? Inshallah ta'ala. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.
ربنا انفعنا بما علمتنا رب علمنا الذي ينفعنا رب فقهنا وفقه أهلنا وقرابات لنا في ديننا